Greetings everyone, this is Connor from DagoraTV. In this video we're talking about all the predictions and all the rumours coming out for Sony's press conference at E3 2016 that's taking place on Monday the 13th of June at 6 PM Pacific Standard Time and on the 14th of June on the Tuesday 3 AM for British time. Okay, so PlayStation really has been the conference I will have a gander at saying that it's had the most discussion about it before the actual convention itself. And a lot of people are talking about what they want to see at PlayStation and what they think is going to be happening, and I'm just here to add fuel to the fire basically. And PlayStation Neo is something that's had a lot of discussion about over the last 3 months, and it's something that I believe is going to be shown. I think it will be shown. I think they'll have big features on it and everything, show all the benchmarks and things like that. Also, I think it will show the difference between PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Neo. It will have a release date, it'll have a price point. I think all of this stuff is going to be announced at the PlayStation conference, and I think they're just going to go through it, quickly, rapidly, get all the information out there as they can in this press conference, because I think it's going to be the most jam-packed one out of all of them, and then really elaborate on all these points much more in the interviews that they have afterwards. But the Neo is going to be something I think it could be the very first thing that they have at the conference, and then a lot of the things that happen later on will reference back to it, about this Neo mode and base mode and things like that. And it's going to be cool to to see if you can flip between the two. If you've got a PlayStation Neo, could you play games at base mode? Which you could be thinking, why would you want to do that? But if you play it at base mode, you'll have a much more stable frame rate and things like that. How much are they willing to go, to have the difference between the two modes and everything, and how flexible is it going to be, games on there? Is it going to be compared to the previous way they used to have it? I think it's a very good idea about the PlayStation Neo. And it's going to be cool to see, if say the Xbox Scorpio is announced at the Xbox conference the day before, it's going to be very interesting to see how PlayStation Neo is going to be, is going to fare against that. How what the price point difference is going to be. That's going to make it a lot more interesting, this whole console war thing that people have in their heads. But all in all, it's going to be cool to actually see the Neo and see what it looks like and things like that. They'll announce all these, all the different bundles and things that they've got going on, all the different prices that they've got for the base console, things like that, and also, basically the future of the PlayStation console for the next year. Maybe talk a little bit about Vita, if they can remember it exists, and things like that. And then we'll get into VR. So PlayStation VR is obviously, if they have Neo coming out this year, it's still the big thing for PlayStation. This is really a step into a new part of technology that Sony, really any game company with an Oculus and HTC Vive, we've kind of kept away from, and now it's going to stepping into virtual reality, and it's going to be a big thing for Sony. So obviously they're going to be trying to sell us that, show us a lot of games, show us the best games, montages, trailers, things like that. All that good stuff is going to be shown. Maybe they'll have a guy on stage, with the VR on and showing how good it will work and everything. All of that stuff is going to be shown, and it's going to be cool to see how easy it is to operate and things like that, and basically talk about the advantages of it all, the price point, and discussing that further, and all the new games in it. All of that is going to be really cool to see, all this new console stuff and all this new tech, and something that's kind of got me excited about the the PlayStation press conference. Okay, so PlayStation have already got a lot of good games. Well, I won't say good games because they haven't come out yet, but games that have got a lot of hype about them, a lot of discussion about them. The first one being Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a buzz around that. It's coming out from Guerrilla Games, and it was announced last year, it was shown, and it was really a game that I think everyone looked at and was like, okay, this is different than everything that's been announced so far. Okay, futuristic dinosaurs in like a apocalyptic world setting. Okay, this is kind of cool. I can look into this more. And are they going to be ready to announce a release date this year? I'm not sure. I think it could either be coming out this year, end of this year, or early next year. But we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more on it from Guerrilla Games this year, and I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to see, a whole different levels, to maybe see some new kind of monsters in there, new kind of like robotic, dinosaurs. They were kind of cool to see for the first time, and hopefully they'll expand on it and have loads of different enemy types. All that is going to be great. We'll probably get the arbitrary, the No Man's Sky demo, which is just going to be, Sean Murray or something like that. Hopefully it's not going to be the same demo that we've had 3 or 4 times already, where they just kind of get on stage and just fly around a little bit and then, go to different planets and everything. Hopefully we see something cool, like we saw in the last bit of gameplay that they released on IGN. We actually saw some really cool stuff in there, being able to go into buildings, having a story, and actually being lore in the game and things like that. Hopefully they'll elaborate on that more. That's what I want to see. See interesting and different stuff than what they've showcased so far. I think we'll also expect, updates from Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue, even though both of them games I think are a long way away. going into the later part of next year. And I think we'll, receive new updates, maybe see a little bit gameplay of Shenmue 3, see where the money's gone, that it raised so much over last year, them two were the huge surprise last year, and really the kind of the best parts of the conference, of everyone just kind of going crazy, and hopefully we'll, see updates on them and see how it's, how they look, how Final Fantasy VII looks, the interest in that I will say is kind of dackered a little bit over the time, but, if they showcase, another bit of good gameplay here and there, especially at E3, this is the time to do it. It will get people right back interested in it again. And Shenmue as well. We had the Kickstarter project. It's got a lot of funding. They're making the game. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of an update, just a quick video, just saying what's kind of going on, what's happening. That'd be cool. We'll also probably get updates on Media Molecule's Dreams, which looks like a very weird game to me. But we'll probably get an update on it, showcase a bit more. I don't think that game's going to do well, but we'll see what's going on. We may even get a release date for David Cage's next project, Detroit. It looks very visually good from the trailer that we saw and everything. Hopefully get a little bit more stuff on that, a bit more info on it and everything like that. All releases, all that good stuff. And obviously we'll get like the Call of Duty news that we get, because it's with PlayStation, see some Infinite War stuff. It'll be good if they can actually answer back with some good gameplay after the mayhem that was the trailer, and see how again that compares to Battlefield 1 and Titanfall that's going to be shown at the Xbox conference earlier that day or the day before. I can't really remember, but it's going to be cool to see how they really compare, and I think it's going to be an interesting part of the PlayStation conference, that Call of Duty area. Okay, so let's get into what I think could be the possible surprises of the PlayStation convention. There's the PlayStation, E3 press conference. One surprise I think that could happen is an actual announcement of The Last of Us 2. And people will be thinking, what? Uncharted 4 just came out a month ago. They're not going to announce it now. Actually, Uncharted 4 was actually announced a month after The Last of Us came out. So it was announced very shortly after that game actually came out, and it didn't really, see more of it until much later on down the line and things like that. So it could be a thing, that The Last of Us could be announced, and definitely, get the first details on the expansions of Uncharted 4, because, there is a season pass there that people bought, and so hopefully see what the expansions actually entail. And the last surprise, which may be me clutching at straws, but there could be a thing, is that we could maybe see a Shadow of Mordor 2 or the next installment of the Middle-earth franchise at the Sony conference. And the reason for that being is because, it's got that little exclusivity deal when they get bonus missions and bonus weapons, yada yada yada, then bullshit exclusivity deals with Sony. That's what Middle-earth has got it with, and that's what Monolith has got it with. So, and Warner Brothers, have got it with them. So maybe we could see Shadow Mordor 2 or Middle-earth, whatever, be announced there, and would get, me very excited personally, because I love Shadow Mordor, the first one, and I'll be very excited to see what it's going to be like if it is there, and I think that could be something that would send a lot of people home happy. Okay, so this was my last one of the E3 predictions, rumour mill stuff, and everything of what I've had, and it's the day before, actually, E3 begins, so, tomorrow we're going to be going straight into, the Bethesda conferences, and the EA conference, and the day after that is the Ubisoft, Xbox, and Sony, and, it's all very exciting and good stuff, and we've got the PC Gaming Show as well, and Nintendo as well, which are a bit on the back burner in my mind, to be honest with you, but I'll definitely be checking them out. And, there's going to be a lot of videos out over this next week, videos concerning the conferences, maybe even, up to 3 a day at times. There's going to be 2 a day, 1 or 2 a day for all the next week. Some days maybe you can get 3 of me reacting to news, dissecting gameplay, things like that, and all that good stuff. So but definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to check that out, and put me on alert if you want to get the moment the videos get uploaded, to see, gameplay dissections, reactions to things like that. And little bits of alerts as well, if you haven't caught the conferences, just basically want a brief rundown, I'll be doing those as well. But I'm guessing that a lot of you will be watching the conferences anyway, because, it's the best time of year, E3. It's a great time of year for this community. And thanks all for watching. Follow me on Twitter for me into the reactions and things like that. Follow me on Twitch. I'm live streaming now. It's gone well so far. Check me out there. Give me a follow. Check Patreon if you really want to do that. And also subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all tomorrow.